A criminal organization is what we've got for government. And let's start. We'll talk about the pardons and we'll talk about possible remedies. So these are some of the worst pardons that I've been able to think about over the last little bit that Trump has granted. But keep in mind, there are a whole bunch of them that he's granted where people owed restitution to their victims up to the millions of dollars. And what he's done with those sentences is he screwed the victims out of that restitution that they might have gotten by giving them pardons on those sentences. So we'll come to remedies later on because I think that wherever there's a wrong, there should be a remedy. First, let's keep in mind he pardoned 608 violent individuals charged coming out of the January 6th riot. He also pardoned 174 who were charged with using deadly weapons and causing bodily harm on January 6th. The next set of pardons, of course, and these are not in chronological orders, is President Hernandez of who was pardoned a couple of weeks ago, um, who was to spend 45 years in jail for being one of the major drug runners into this country. He's in Honduras and he's wanted by the Honduran government, but this is one of Trump's pardons. Next, we have a fellow named Ulrich, who was at life in prison for running drugs and I think, but I'm not sure, also murders connected to his dark web activities. But another Trump acolyte who is a heavy drug dealer in the United States. We have a fellow named I think it's C.J. Chow, CHAU or UA maybe, who was convicted of crimes with respect to cryptocurrency, and but he is now helping Trump with his crypto exchanges where he's taking money. I think all these people next, Giuliani, Mark Meadows, Eastman, and Powell, I think all of them have been disbarred for lying to federal courts and about the alleged stealing of the 2020 election. Trump has pardoned all those people, notwithstanding the misery they've caused everybody. He pardoned Henry Cuellar, who's a representative in Texas who was defrauding people and taking bribes. We ought to mention also on this that clown Santos out of New York, who he pardoned, and he alone had been ordered to pay back to victims of his fraud $370,000. He's now free to ignore that. Um, then we have Scott Jenkins, who was a MAGA friend. I can't remember at the moment what he had been accused of, but I think it was bribery and fraud. We have a fellow named Trevon Milton, who was defrauded investors, but of I think millions of dollars. But he gave $1.6 million to the Trump's campaign, so he got a pardon. In my view, Trump has the pardon power, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be prosecuted under state laws, and it doesn't mean that people shouldn't go after them for the damages that they caused. He can only pardon them from federal crimes. He can't pardon them for concomitant or equal state crimes, and he certainly can't release them from civil liability. So that it seems to me the remedy is to go after these people, and if you find a pay for play in that, Trump is not excused by the Supreme Court for engaging in criminal activity outside of his presidential duties. And For example, the Milton who gave money to his campaign, that's not presidential duties. That's something else. So that uh, there is, in my view, a remedy that at least should be sought after on this. In other posts, we'll talk about other illegal activities by Trump and others and possible remedies.